Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain for You. Today's topic is going to be on connection and also happiness versus isolation and misery, right? Connection equals happiness. Isolation equals misery. And life isn't meant to be navigated completely alone. And I know there are folks who are alone, who are trying to navigate this pain world by themselves. And my encouragement for you is to try to connect as much as possible. Well, many of us, when we're hurting, we choose not to go places, we choose not to do things. We choose to stay home because we're safer, we're more comfortable there. I can lay on the couch, I can lay in my bed. And if I go out, I might hurt. And if I'm out in a social environment and I'm hurting, I'm going to be a burden to other people, or people are going to see me and then I'm going to be embarrassed. And so I'm just going to stay home. And so we isolate and we exclude ourselves from engaging in the outside world. And what I would like to suggest is that attempt to protect ourselves from embarrassment, from being a burden, from maybe hurting while we're out in public, is probably making us worse, not better. I talk a lot about going out and finding happiness. How much fun can you have today? Create joy. Well, I've had many people say, and actually one comment today that says, I find there are many times when I have happiness. And during those times of happiness, I notice my symptoms a lot less. Whereas when they're not finding the happiness and they're sitting alone in their misery and suffering, symptoms are a lot worse. And so what do you learn from that story that this lady shared with me today? It means that the more you can get out of your head and into life and connect with others and engage with others and learn to laugh, whether you got pain or not. I'm sorry, I don't care how bad my back pain ever was. If there was something funny going on, I could still laugh. Yeah, sure, it took some of the joy out, and it was challenging. But I always felt better physically, but I was feeling better emotionally. And so, isolation versus connection. Which way do you think you're going to do better? And look, yes, I get it. Some of us are alone. In life, in our homes, in our pains. I would encourage you to start seeking connection. Connect with others through Facebook if you need to. Right? I'm not saying, create a suffering club, support club. How about finding a group on Facebook that is based on something you're interested in? Whatever that may be. Right? If you're into music, there's music groups on Facebook. If you're into sports, find a baseball fan club on Facebook. If you're into country music, there's country music groups. Share, engage, right? Get outside of your world of pain. Get outside of your world of suffering. Connect with others somehow, even if you are stuck in your house by yourself and you're bedridden. There's ways of connecting. Reach out to old friends. Get on the phone. And don't just complain about your pain the whole time. Connect, connect, connect. Embrace connection. Isolation isn't going to help you feel better. And honestly, one of the reasons that's the case is because when we are by ourselves, the only person we've got to talk to is that inner critic, that inner roommate in our head who does nothing but tell us everything that's wrong with our life. And when you get out in the real world and you get to share in living life with other people and share funny stories and examples and situations and just laugh, guess what? The inner critic's quieted down while you're doing that. And that's why when we shift our focus away from the pain and the symptoms to living life, symptoms don't seem quite as bad as that lady just shared with me. And I knew that was the case myself. Because if all you're doing is laying in bed going, oh my God, this is really bad, this is really bad, as opposed to being out with some friends, yeah, it's going to be bad, but you're going to be so much engaged in living life that you're not going to notice the symptoms as much. And the less you can notice your symptoms, the less mental energy you put towards those symptoms, which means the less neural connections are going to be needed because you're not focusing on it all day. Look, guys, all of these concepts really tie together very nicely. So connection versus isolation. Do what you can within whatever limitations you may have to connect with others online, on the phone, Skype calls, video calls. You know, if you haven't seen a family member in 2 months, if they have a smartphone and you do too, get on a video call. Smile at them, you know? Connect with others. Do what you can to stop isolation. Because honestly, when we're in isolation and we are constantly looking at everything wrong, that really leads to viewing ourselves as a victim. And we're not victims. Right? Not saying you're at fault, but we're not victims. Somebody says, oh, I brought this on myself. No, you didn't. This happens to most people. I think it was 1 out of 6 people will have some kind of a stress illness. It's probably more than that, but that's kind of some of the estimates I'm seeing. So it's tons of people. If you're in a group of 6, there's 1 of you with it. If you're in a group of 12, there's 2 of you with it. You know, if you're in a group of 100, what is it? You're going to have 1 out of 6. Yeah. If you're in a group of 60, there's going to be 12 of you with it, right? It adds up. My math might be off. Anyway, isolation, connection. Which one's more fun? Do that, right? And I know you don't want to be embarrassed. I know you don't want to be a burden. I know you don't want to feel like you're out somewhere and you have a major spasm or a major attack of pain and you need help, right? But isolation isn't going to help you get better. Getting out of your head, and if possible, out of your house and connecting with others will. So I hope this makes sense. Connect. And let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Share if you find it useful. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.